Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited about today's show. Okay, I'm always excited, but I have great guests and wonderful topics, and today is no exception. Throughout the month of February, we've been talking about, mind, spirit. Well, today we're going to talk about taking care of your body. I'm Deborah Eckerling. I'm author of Your Goal Guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, and achieving your goals, and creator of the DEB method for goal setting simplified. You can't reach your goals on your own. You need your people. So all about bringing people together. I also do consulting and I lead workshops to help people get the most value out of the events they attend. But enough about me. Let's talk about my wonderful guest today. I have Dr. Meg Haworth, who we met a couple years ago at the beginning of the pandemic, and I am just shocked. I don't think we've seen each other since the last time you were on my show, and that's just not okay. But Meg is a holistic nutritionist, private chef, an all-around really good energy person. Also, my dear friend Viveka von Rosen is here, and Viv, I love it. So Viv's a co-founder of Vengreso, but we're probably not even going to talk about this because we're talking about living the healthy bodies. Viv's got a really good program project, but we'll get more into that. And also Jerod Williams, who is UJAM instructor extraordinaire, who I also haven't seen since in real life before the pandemic, but you do dance parties every week, and it always reminds me to dance. Because we always need to be dancing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing the
dance parties.
Love it.
Yeah, I feel like there should have been music there. I would love for you all. Yeah, we can just do this for the hour. But so, well, as you know, here, I'll flip back in a second. Every Monday, I bring together 3 friends to dive into the topic of the week. And then on Thursday, it magically becomes an episode of the Deb Show podcast. So whether you're watching live or the replay or listening to us, well, if you're listening, imagine that we are dancing. We're glad you're here and choosing your goals. And today, choosing your health goals. So friends, please introduce yourselves. Let's start with you, Meg, or Dr. Meg.
Wow, I'm in the big picture.
You are indeed. Great to see you.
I am Dr. Meg Haworth, and I'm a transpersonal psychologist. That's what my doctorate's in, and I'm a holistic nutritional chef. And I help people heal from chronic illness, people who've had histories of abuse and trauma, to release the emotional energy from the body, and to support the body to heal itself with real food.
We love food. And food always ends up coming into the conversation, sometimes sooner than others. And I think we have a new record for talking about food. But I'm really glad you're here. I love the different things that you do, and I'm thrilled to have you as part of today's conversation.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to listen to Meg for the next hour now. That's great what you're doing. I'm Viveka von Rosen. I'm the Chief Visibility Officer with Vengreso. But when I'm not doing that, I really am focused on health, especially as I get a little older. I just had a big birthday, and realizing that, I am now past middle age, unless I live to be 110. So if I am going to be vibrant and alive and healthy and energetic, it really is about taking care of your body. And at my age, that needs to be the first thing before anything. And I know a lot of people think that might be selfish, but it isn't. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else. So that's my little personal journey right now.
I love that. And I think it's been said before, but it needs to be repeated again. Self-care is not selfish.
Right.
It is making sure you do not need aftercare.
That's
right.
Yeah. And I mean, my dad was, and we'll get into the whole story, but my dad passed away in 2022, but he was 96 years old. And really for 95 and a half years, he lived an amazing life. And he was still, at 90 years old, he was still hang gliding. At 94, he was still kayaking, and mind you, we got him a trike, but he was still in his bicycle. And it's such an important mindset. So, and, seeing the fast decline, and when one loses interest in life, how quick it can be, it just is so much about the mind as well, which I'm sure Dr. Meg will talk about more. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I know you offer a wonderful perspective on this. So thanks for joining.
Sure.
Jerod.
Hello. How's it going, everyone? I'm new to this, so you have to forgive me on this. So
You are doing fantastic.
oh, thank you. My name is Jerod Williams. I am a cardio dance fitness workout instructor. I teach 5 classes a week.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot right now.
That's a lot.
I teach 5 classes a week, but there are 3 different formats. So I teach Zumba, UJam Fitness, which is one of my favorite formats to teach, and Cardio Dance Party, which is one that I created during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And also my day job is I'm a legal assistant / paralegal. So I like have this big yin to the yang. And so it's kind of crazy. I have to have the heady job in order for me to deal with the fun side of my life right there. And definitely on the subject of taking care of your body, it is one of the most important things for me right now at this point, because during this time, especially when we were shut in during the pandemic, it's so important to just keep your not only just your body going, but your mind and everything, because as you're sitting around, you're doing nothing hardly in this pandemic. So I had to start. So I actually started going virtual, learn how to do virtual, so that way I could try to reach some of the people that I had wasn't able to try to get in touch with over the pandemic. So it's important to keep moving and everything.
It is. In dancing, I think I have in my bio, I like cooking for productivity, dancing for exercise, and talking for fun. So definitely part of my bio, because it'll lift your spirit. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Stop and dance.
Yes.
And your day just gets infinitely better.
Yes.
Infinitely
indeed, because I always tell my participants when they come to my class and everything that whatever you got going on in your life, stress, bad boyfriend, work, school, whatever, leaving it all out on the dance floor. It's the hour that you have to get it all out and get right with the world, and then come back with a fresher perspective. The problem is still there, but at least you've gotten that 1 hour to get that release out, and and then you're happy again.
Well, you say you're the newbie to this group, and this is true, but you're catching on amazingly well, Jerod.
I am new at this. I don't hardly speak as much these days on social platforms, so this is kind of cool.
You say you're the newbie. That was weird. Feedback. That's okay. So
that was me.
This is before we dive into what led you to being so health conscious. Jerod, aren't just as many people doing virtual as they were in the last couple of years, or is it wavered off a little bit?
Well, right now I think it's kind of equal, if I do say so myself on this one, because I noticed because I worked for 24-hour fitness. I'll go ahead and say that for one of the things. So I worked for 24-hour fitness, and we decided during that time that we were going to do a virtual platform. And the cool part about this actual virtual platform that we started doing was we had a lot of people that joined, and to this day I still have that good amount of people that are there, because there are still some people that just don't have the time to go out and rush to get to a gym to go to an hour class.
Yeah.
So now people who how the trajectory has changed over the fact that we're now working from home and everything. That when you add that element in there, it actually puts the person to make time to go ahead and say, oh, I can go ahead and work up until maybe 5:55, and I can go catch my favorite dance teacher at 6 o'clock. That actually works. Or I can actually put food on the table and say, okay, y'all go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go dance and cut a rug right quick. So, but yeah, I think that during this time, the whole situation right now, the virtual platform is just as good. And even when I went back to the dance studios, we're hybrid. So we actually offer virtual classes as well as in-person classes, and we film it at the same time while we're doing a class.
That's
so
cool.
That's a it's been a great thing. It's been a great thing so far that came out of the pandemic.
So we know your favorite workout is dancing. What about you, Meg? What is your favorite way to let loose? Do you cut rugs or do you?
What does she do? I love to walk and hike. I love Pilates. Now, because, and I think this is an important thing to note because we're talking about the body today, but because I've had over a dozen illnesses, including fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, mixed connective tissue disease. I've had all kinds, IBS, all kinds of issues in my life. And I was struck by lightning. So literally, and I have scoliosis. So I have like this whole list of physical issues. So I have to meter out my energy. And I'm sure a lot of people listening are dealing with all kinds of illness and issues. And so I think it's important. You have to find the thing that's right for you and the mix that's right. So I found I can't do Pilates 3 times a week. It would put me out of the game, but I could do it like once a week. And then I'll walk, and then, so that's kind of how that goes for me. I also do love to dance. But I just don't have that kind of physical energy that I'm going to be, doing heavy physical workouts and stuff every day.
Well, it's the balance, as you were saying, but also I think finding something that you're going to enjoy, that you're going to do, which is why dancing works for me, because, how can you not want to move around when you're hearing, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I'm in the kitchen and I've got music on always, and I'll dance around and have fun with that. So,
well, fun is key. And Viv, I'm going to ask you this question next. Yeah. So what other than things like hang gliding, which I know you also do?
I haven't done that in a while, but yeah. Same as Dr. Meg. I mean, we live in Colorado. We've got great hiking just around the corner. So I do a lot of walking, a lot of hiking, and also the house in Costa Rica. I do a lot of walking, a lot of hiking on the beach. We started swimming only because we had a pool. So, I mean, why not? So I've started swimming a little bit when I'm there, not when I'm here. It's too cold here. And I love.
Wait, are we supposed to feel bad for you?
I know you're supposed to feel really bad for me. Poor me. But I also love dancing, and I belong to it's called Wild Embodiment Dance. Every Sunday when I'm here, I try to do it, and then Wednesdays when I don't have clients. But I love it because it ticks off a lot of the boxes. It ticks off the creativity box, the exercise box. I call it the peopling box. Unlike most people, I loved COVID and staying at home. Right, it's just like I was at a conference last week or the week before last, and I had to drive back and forth because it was like a live in-person conference. And I had to drive back and forth. And I'm like, oh my God, like wasting 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back. Not that I wasted, I listened to podcasts.
So much effort.
Oh, all that commuting, all that efforting just to see people in real life. But I'm just kidding. Kind of kidding. Slightly kidding.
Traffic is just as bad. I feel you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. Worse. It's so bad. But yeah, I love the dancing. I just think it's just great. And it does. It just works on the mind, body, and the spirit all at once, Yeah.
So, Jerod, I feel like I didn't exactly ask you this question. So other than dance, are there other forms of exercise that you like, or are you just all in, all dance party channel all the time?
No, I also, I just recently in the pandemic during this time, I got certified in a format called Commit, which also incorporates HIIT training in there too. So,
oh, cool.
So I do that on the regular, so I can at least try to like build my endurance a little bit, because like dancing, I mean, you can only do so much cardio during that time, because like, I always say for class, doctor recommended dose of cardio, but like also you have to like also do weights and everything too as well. And
but do you?
But yeah, I do. I
I
kind of have
know you
to.
do, especially as you get older. I really.
Yeah, you kind of
Okay,
have to
okay.
do
I
it.
have a feeling, Viv, you're having an issue with this age thing.
Well, I just hear I'm supposed to be doing more weights and it's supposed to be really good for my bones and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I hear the same thing. I think there's so many ways that we do weights that we don't give credit to, you know?
Like
I mean,
picking my dog
as a
up.
chef, yeah, picking your
Oh,
dog
well,
up,
yeah, as a
lifting
chef,
your
you have the heavy
groceries, you know,
bowls.
moving things around the kitchen.
Exactly.
It's a very physical job. And I think that's something that, again, we don't give a lot of credit to the ways that we're lifting and stretching and flexing all day
True.
long. And especially
Yeah.
if we're active.
Yeah,
So,
especially also, I live in a building where we have no elevator, and so I'm on the 3rd floor. So
oh, nice.
lifting my entire body up 3 flights of stairs,
Oh, yeah.
so that could be like a good way of doing things. You know?
Okay, now I'm
Yeah.
feeling like I should use my standing desk. That's
Oh,
all.
I wish I
That's
had
what
one
that
of those.
was.
And when I do laundry, I always call it laundry exercise
Yes.
because downstairs, around the corner, back and forth, and the fluff and fold part. But really, it's just the Spearmaster to get your clothes clean. But I think the part that I'm latching onto, it's like in our daily lives, we're always, as long as we're moving, we're moving.
Right.
But part of that is being cognizant of the different things.
Yeah.
So, and Meg, you kind of alluded to this before, but we need to dive back a little bit into this. Where did your health journey begin, or at what point did you become so cognizant of the need to be healthy?
I was sick for most of my life, but I all through my 20s, I was in and out of doctor's offices. It just got worse and worse during that time frame. And I'm about your age, Viv. I think we're like the same one. But just from things you've said. So the 110 number. So at any rate, so by the time I was in my 20s, by the end of my 20s was when I became very aware of food as medicine, because I had all these food allergies, didn't know it. Gluten, dairy. This was almost 30 years ago when people didn't know anything about, they didn't even know what gluten was.
Right.
And now it's like gluten-free everywhere, you know, and there's a lot of reasons for that I dive into the work that I do. But that's when that began. I became basically obsessed with holistic healing with food, with mindset, mind, body medicine, spirituality, just the whole gamut, Eastern religions and philosophy. And so I just started studying everything I could, and I eventually ended up with a doctorate. So
At least yours was somewhat useful.
Yeah. Well, some people would argue with that.
Would
one.
argue that.
Transpersonal psychology, that's not a real thing, you know. Like, well, it's really helped a lot of people.
A lot of people,
yeah, but I know what you're saying. So at any rate, yeah, so it's been, and then it continues. And I think this is important for people to understand, that it's a continuing journey.
Mm-hmm.
You don't stop refining your diet.
That's
you
right.
don't stop refining your exercise routines, right? You know, your body's changing, your hormones are changing, your muscular system is changing. Everything changes all the time. And so you have to keep readjusting. I think that's important.
So Viv, I know she's got the PhD in all those words I can't pronounce, and you have a PhD in LinkedIn. But you also are not upset. Is obsessed like a bad word? You're very passionate about, that's the better word. You're very passionate about healthy. Where did that start?
You know, on the positive side of things, my dad's always been very healthy. Like oh my God, he would read something that was good for you and he would just make a soup or a salad and start adding stuff. So, and I am not kidding, right? So like lettuce is good for you. Okay, cool. We'll put in lettuce. And kale is good for you. Okay, kale's good too. Olive oil is good for you. All right, let's put some olive oil on there. Eggs are good for you. I'll just throw a raw egg on there. Oh, sardines are really good for you. Let's throw some sardines on there. Apples are good for you. We'll chop up some apples too. I am not even kidding. I am not even kidding. And then he'd stick it in the microwave. So I am no one wanted us to visit. But so he has always been so and he was a runner his whole life. And then when he couldn't run anymore, he was a biker. So that was a very positive influence. Although no one could, I finally caught up to him when I moved to Colorado. He was 86 and living at sea level. So when he came up to my house in Colorado, I finally managed at 86 years old, he was, to out hike him. Like he was just, I'm not kidding. He was incredible. My mom, on the other hand, had a lot of body dysmorphia, which, thanks, Mom, she passed on to me from her grandmother. It's generational. Yay.
Yay.
And so, Dr. Meg, I know you get this all the time. So, I mean, she had me on Metrical when I was like 12, which probably did no good for my metabolism. And so I had a lot of body stuff and body issues, and I ate my feelings and all the things, probably up until about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I was tired. I was overweight. I wasn't happy. And it was exhausting. So, and I, with my mom passing away, it almost like was a catalyst for, okay, now it's almost like she tried to make me be healthy for so long that now that she's not here, and she was wonderful. And I mean, she's a wonderful, wonderful woman. Don't get me wrong, but we had generational eating shit going on. So I don't even remember what the question was.
What were we talking about?
What were we talking about? So yeah, I think that got me started. And then, and COVID was actually great for me because I used to travel a lot and speak a lot. And so a lot of weight would come on when I traveled because I'm like, oh, I'm in Boston. I must have I must have everything. I must have a lobster roll and everything that, I'm in Fiji. I must have so I ate all the things when I was traveling. And so with COVID, obviously the travel got cut way down. And I wasn't commuting. And suddenly I had like an hour extra, 2 hours extra every day. And I could focus on my eating. So I did Whole30, and even though I think he's an asshole, I did 75 hard. And I think that really just kind of kick-started because it allowed me to physically get healthier, but also there is something to that mental mind power that you get when you do complete a program like that. Even though he's kind of aggro and I don't like him.
But you take the part that works for you, and that's okay. It doesn't matter how.
Oh, and I drink lots of water.
Well,
cheers.
You talking about,
Cheers.
Mine's in a pretty mug, but it actually is water. And so, was it Vital 64, the other thing?
64 Vital, yeah. So
I was so close. I want a point.
You were very close. I was good. So yeah, I basically took Andy's 75 hard. What I didn't like about, and it works for some people. It really does. And that kind of attitude works for some people. And I do appreciate that it's all about mental toughness. That's what I was trying. That's the phrase I was looking for about 5 minutes ago. But what I didn't like is it could literally put people in danger because he was very much like, you got to go out and do it. I don't care if there's a hurricane and a tornado and it's minus 28. You got to go out and get your hours worth of exercise, and I'm like, well, if it's minus 28 and someone might die, go ahead and skip that day or, do the exercise inside. It's you're still doing it. Don't use it as an excuse. So, and then as women being caretakers and me going through caretaking my father at that point, there were days when I did not get 2 hours of exercise in because I was in the emergency room again. And so I didn't want women to feel like they were going. I saw on not the job boards, I saw on the socials a lot of people saying, you know, I'm so bummed I'm 70 days in, but you know, my kid got hit by a car and I couldn't get my second, no lie, I couldn't get my second exercise in. And I guess I'm a big fat failure, you know? And I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
my God, come on now. That ain't.
Oh.
And then all the people would go, yeah, you fail, you know, and I'm just like, oh my God, people, like, let's,
Oh my gosh.
I know it's a very,
It's not a good advertisement for this.
Yeah,
I was going to say this is like the opposite of Deb and setting yourself up for success.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And some people need that.
Yeah.
But I'm not,
I mean-
but so anyway, long story short, I created 64 Vital, which is a couple days less. And it allows for things like family emergencies. And if you can't do both, you know, if you can't get both sessions of exercise in outside, it's okay to do them both inside. You know, like, let's have mental toughness, but let's be kind with ourselves too.
Yeah. Because I mean, the thing that keeps coming to me as you're talking about this too is just listening to your body.
Yes.
And so many people are not, because they're listening to someone outside of them saying, if you do this, then you'll get this. And results aren't the same for everyone.
Well, and what was ironic about that is, yes, I lost a lot of weight, and then my dad got sick, and then he passed away, and then I went and ate for 3 days. I mean, 3 days. No, I ate for 3 months, and I gained it all back because it wasn't a realistic way to live. Right.
Yeah.
With all these programs that are out there, you kind of have to give yourself a little bit of grace in your
grace.
Yeah. Because if you don't give yourself any kind of grace, you're not gonna like really get the results that you need and the encouragement that's out there. And so, that program doesn't sound like anything out there.
It does. It works for some people, but it's not. I don't think it's the best for everybody.
Yeah, it reminds me of those programs that are like, give me all your money. I know I'm expensive, but if you give me your money, then you will make money. And I'm like,
if you really respected yourself, you would give me this 20,000 or 500,000, and then you would, that's all that.
Yeah, that's what, as you were describing it, I was thinking of, because you know, we're in the social space, so we get all the time bombarded between emails and social advertisements saying, invest in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you will give me all this money.
Yeah.
And that's never okay. If you believe in yourself, explore and find the thing that works for you, and do more of what works and less of what doesn't. Boy, did we sidetrack Jerod. What led you to become a fitness instructor? I mean, it's amazing. And those are ads I get. Like, I did an article on a woman who started teaching Zumba at 69, and now I get become a Zumba instructor ads, which I don't mind, but it's not going to happen.
It's amazing what happens. Yeah.
Right. Well,
they're listening in.
Always.
Yeah. Well, I got into the fitness industry. It was kind of interesting for what happened for me, because, like, long story short is, like, I had a health scare in my mid 30s. And like, my doctor at the end of the whole thing, he sat there, he said, okay, you could stand to lose a little weight, you could stand to, like, you know, get like things going on in your life. And I'm like, all right, I got you. He was very brutally honest. One day, like, you know, as I was driving back, trying to drive back, because my doctor's way on the east side and I live in the center of LA. My car breaks down in this small place at Atwater Village, and it's in Glendale. And so AAA, apparently during this time, AAA just said that, like, you're okay. At the height of the time, it's gonna be 45 minutes till we get to you. And I was like, okay, well, all right, I'll wait around here. So, like, I walked around and I saw these people in this dance studio just getting their lives, like, dancing. And I was like going, wow, that looked amazing. And so, like, I walked in, I said, what class is this? And then they said, oh yeah, this is Zumba. And Zumba at the time was very cutting edge. Like, it just was like maybe a good year or two old.
Yeah.
And there was 2 people that were teaching the class, and they were so dynamic. And long story short, I became a volunteer there. I started taking classes there. The teacher was late one time, and I actually subbed for the teacher one time because I knew the routines really well, and he left a spare iPod. Then the teacher and the owner told me, like, they loved you. Can we give you a class? And I'm like, well, I'm not even certified. What's wrong with you? And then so I talked to friends and everything. And like one of my dearest friends from this day, like said, because I always got a certification in just about like the 3 big exercises that were out there. I just never taught. And so she was like, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You got all these certifications and you are not teaching. I went, no. And she was like, get your ass out there and teach. Pushed me out the nest and everything because I took her classes and everything. And long story short, I taught the class and then and I mean, like, and then I've been teaching ever since, and I've been teaching right now for a little more than 10 years.
That's great.
And we met because Jennifer Ballard, who Viv also knows from SME land, Social Media Examiner land, when I moved, I said, I see this guy's also teaching UJAM. She's like, oh, he was one of my instructors when I got certified. You have to take his classes. So thank you, Jennifer. That is how we met. And I was remembering because I think it was February before the pandemic, something happened with the studio.
Yes. The studio had a party, like a wild party, and the kids, kind of like
they destroyed the studio.
They just messed up that whole floor. So it was like $20,000 like damage on that floor because it was just like there was a big dip. We couldn't like even do classes at all in that spot because it's
right. Because I was trying to remember because I knew it was, and then the pandemic happened and no one was dancing anywhere, but you were having your dance parties, and I will admit I was much better at attending at the beginning of it. I mean, I do my 2-minute dance breaks, but honestly, it's really not a sustainable long-term exercise program. It's better than nothing, but I'm like, I have to get back because there is value in routine, right? Which is what is, and you were talking about this before, Meg, you have to do what works for you with your body, not necessarily the same thing, but what is ideal in terms of routine and far as eating well? I mean, we all should be eating well all the time and we all should exercise all the time. We're not going to. So what is the ideal? I mean, we're getting our workout in. How many minutes do we count for?
That's right.
Well,
see, right there. She's already done for the day.
That's all that matters. Well, I think there could be a happy medium under all of that. I think because, like, I worked a day job that I was just sitting there the entire time. Like I actually barely got up. And now since like I'm back in the office, like maybe 2 days a week because I'm hybrid right now, I make it a point for me to like get up an hour, like, I'll work an hour, get up and walk around for an hour. Or like, walk around to make a lap or two, just to like, keep my mind going and keep my body moving. Because that's a helpful way of like doing things. And especially, and even when I was at home during the pandemic, divorced myself away from the computer for like about 30 minutes, like for like a few minutes or so you can like get back to work and everything else. Cause I think that's helpful.
I think so.
So the answer is get up early and work out, or the answer is figure out whether are you supposed to work out at night? I know this is completely sidetracked.
I think you can work out whenever is necessary for you at this point. I mean, some people's bodies work differently. Some people's minds work differently on that. I mean, I teach a cardio dance party class at 8:30 virtually on Wednesday nights. And I have somebody from New York City who takes my class, and that's 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
11:30. Wow.
And so she's like, yes, I sit here and I cut a rug. She said, I wait for it. And I mean, like, not only is it because like, she says it's a fun class, it's something of a routine for her that helps her out. And like she says, it kind of tires me out so I can go to sleep. Yeah. It does the opposite for some people. But like, it tires her out. So
know your body.
Yeah, know your body in this whole instance.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to pose it more to a question because I still have to write the recap for this. What is your best recommendation for finding that healthy living balance? You can think about it. Let's go to Dr. Meg next.
Okay. All right. I was about ready to talk anyway. So I'm going to go back to the thing I said before, which I think is one of the most important things, is to listen to your body.
Mm-hmm.
In every single way. We get so disconnected from our bodies for many, many reasons. But a lot of it is we are so busy. We're running all the time. We're not listening. We're not listening to basic things like, I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
I need to go to the bathroom. And so really listening to your body, even, I've had some people who I'm not into, but you set your clock for like 2 hours and you do 2 hours of work, or I think 90 minutes is what they're saying, like don't go over 90. And then maybe that's a good time to just like, okay, what do I need right now? Oh, I'm hungry. I need to go eat. So those are like some simple, basic ways of listening to your body. Also, like if you're feeling stiff, and you need to stretch, you need to just move, you need to get up, maybe go for a walk. And there's so much power in switching up the thing that you're doing and doing something else. And then you have the energy and you have your mind is more clear, like going out for a walk and then coming back, your mind is more clear to get back into the work. So that's, I think, one of the benefits of the pandemic and of people being able to stay at home and work from home is that, you can get more sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to spend, so much time getting ready every morning. You don't even have to put pants on. We learned very early on in the pandemic.
True. But do be careful when you walk away.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait a minute, whoops.
Commute to the bed to the desk is like 2 seconds.
Yeah, right. I commute 2 seconds.
But anyway, so that's going to be my thing, is listen to your body. What do you
Excellent.
need?
And we're going to talk about food in a minute, but not yet. Let's keep on that exercise train. Viv, what about you? How do you find this healthy living balance?
Yeah, well, I am turning into my mother, it turns out. So she was a morning person, which I totally did not understand when I was in my teens. Like, morning people were of the devil. And yet what I have discovered is I am, in fact, a morning person. Not a super early morning person, but I'm usually, awake by 6, and then I'm journaling by, 6:30-ish. And so I find I need to get my mind activated before I get my body activated. But the other thing I've learned is, listen to your body, do what you can when you can. I was so, with 75 Hard, I was so regimented about, like, I am going for a 65-minute walk. And then later on, I will do a 65-minute, weightlifting or yoga or whatever. And now I just like, oh, I've got 30 minutes. Great. I'll jump on the bike. Oh, I've got 25 minutes. Cool. I'll take the dog to the bottom of the hill and back up, and so I get it where I can. And then when we're in Costa Rica, it's, the birds and the monkeys get you up at 5:30 a.m. no matter when, all year round. And then it gets hot. So I think my body also shifted a little bit for the time we spent there to get up at 5:30 in the morning and do something active. So now I'm a morning person.
And your point being, sometimes your mind needs to wake up before your body does.
Yeah,
that's a really good point.
And some people are great, doing their exercise before their mind works up, because it's like they're halfway through it and before they wake up, and they're like, cool, I got half a workout in on before I woke up. But I would drop the weights on my feet if I did that. So
I keep getting these requests, for like 10 a.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah,
and I said, I'd be happy to talk to you. I typically like to be awake before I start talking, but let's see what we can do.
Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So, Jerod, what about you? What is your recommendation for finding that healthy living balance?
Well, I say that basically you should, on the topic of just like also in listening to your body and everything, you definitely have to find certain things that that you love more. I mean, like, certain things that give you a drive and passion. I mean, you might have something that's going on right now, like a day job that you're not like, that's not that you're not passionate about or something like that. But that healthy balance for you is to like always have something that you love that fuels your soul, that feeds your spirit. Yeah. Definitely will be something that is definitely something that you have to have, that will have that healthy balance in your life right there. And I mean, whether it's like, spending quality time with a friend, or if you just curling up and relaxing with a good movie, and being by yourself, whatever it is that's fueling you at that moment. Definitely, like, that's gotta be passionate. And especially, and when I get up early in the morning, on the subject of like doing things, I read somewhere a long time ago, there was a person that told me that you should actually stretch while you're in bed, like activate muscles, activate everything in your body, like do any kind of like yoga posing or anything like that in the bed or something like that actually it activates your body and it gets your mind going and working, and drinking water in the morning.
I feel like that's a bonus goal, and we're not even at goals yet. And the thing about feeding your spirit, that's a big part of why I do what I do. I believe everybody deserves to be happy in some, if not all of their life. If you can't change, the big thing about your life, find something that you're passionate about that's going to keep you healthy and excited and motivated, and then let that leak over. So where are my gold stars? I endorse this entire conversation, but it's important because when you feel good, the rest of your life is better. Yeah. And it's just logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's food. So, and we'll start with Dr. Meg again. What food recommendations? What are the ones that keep you healthy and motivated? And we know lots of water. Bev's going to say lots of water. Definitely. But what else can we put into our body that makes us feel good?
Well, you know what I'm going to say? Listen to your body. There we go again. Seriously, because food will tell you what works for you and what doesn't. And that's another thing we won't listen to, because we're like, but I like that.
But I like ice cream.
I like ice cream, and the ice cream could literally be making you so sick that you've got a disease. Or you've got some sort of symptom or a persistent symptom that a lot of us will just like push away until it becomes a chronic illness. And then, it's not fun. So food really, it's the baseline for everything that you do. If you start thinking of it that way, what you put in your mouth is so important, and enjoying what you're putting in your mouth is important too. There are make foods really good. And I think one of the first things to really think about is food quality. And of course, I'm going to say vegetables, mainly vegetables. I do endorse using meats. I know not everybody does. And there's a lot, we haven't really talked about mind so much, but what you believe, think, feel, and believe has a lot to do with what you feel like is okay. Like if you want to be a vegan and you are passionate about being a vegan and somebody tells you have to eat meat, well, to save your life, that's one thing. But if you're doing fine and you don't need it necessarily, then, you may not need it. So again, that's listening to your body and your beliefs and how your beliefs really add to your food. So, but food quality is what I was driving at. And that means I do definitely endorse organic, because there are so many food chemicals. There's chemicals that we have to endure every single, just more than 80 to 100,000 chemicals that we have to endure. And these are in everything from like your mattress to the cleaning products that you're spraying around your house. There's the stuff you're putting on your body that goes into your bloodstream, the makeup that we're using, the hair dyes, and then the foods have herbicides, pesticides, fungicides. The more you lower your toxic burden by understanding what's in your food and how to avoid that as much as possible, the better off you'll be.
Okay. A healthy food, healthy person.
Healthy life.
Healthy life. You were
Yeah.
going to add something, Viv?
Yeah, I just, it's really interesting. I was kind of, okay. My husband is very much of the, this whole organic thing is bullshit. But I've done my reading and I don't think it is. But what was interesting was when we went to, and we watch very carefully what we eat here in the US. When we went to Costa Rica, I didn't have my scale with me, and the fruits there are so yummy. I was eating way more fruit than I usually do. Obviously the veggies, obviously the fresh, the fresh meat, the fresh fish, and desserts. I was eating desserts and once in a while having a drink. And I didn't gain any weight, even though if I had been eating that exact same menu in the US, I would have gained 10 pounds, probably, if not more, just from inflammation. So
from
it is
toxins.
Oh, so many toxins. I mean, it's crazy. And I do, I've got an all natural product for my hair, for my skincare. I use Thrive Cosmetics. I mean, because every little tiny bit helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So any food thoughts you want to add in, Viv and Jerod?
Not that I do this all the time, but when we go out to eat, and I don't remember who it was who told me this, but he said, I remember it was a he, and he said, look at the menu, look at everything that looks delicious to you. So, that looks delicious, that looks delicious, that looks delicious. And then from those 5, 10, whatever it is, things, then choose what looks healthy. So that way you go from, 100 things on the menu down to 10 things that look delicious, down to 3 things that look healthy and delicious, and then choose one. And I don't do it all the time because sometimes just delicious wins out. But every time I don't do it, I regret it. And every time I do it, I'm like, this salad is delicious. And just a funny story. We were at the Broadmoor for a birthday kind of celebration, and we went to the Golden Bee, and they have like all this cheese that you can eat for free. Free cheese, people, free cheese. So I ate at least 2 or 3 tubs by myself with crackers, which I never eat crackers. My husband was buying drinks, so I had 3 drinks. I never have more than 2 just because I can't handle it. And then we got I was going to get the salad, but no, I got the shepherd's pie. And then we had dessert because it was a birthday celebration. Oh my God, my body was so sick that night. It was just like, get it out, because after a while,
You hurt me.
Be gone. Wherever you need to leave from, be gone. And it did. It was gross. And so I won't do that again,
Good.
Yeah.
Again.
So Jerod,
Yes.
do you have any?
All of that.
That was the only transition I could think of. So Jerod.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't even start thinking about eating healthy a lot until I was in my mid-30s. Because, I'm from the South.
Yes.
So
You're the South where fried apples are considered a vegetable.
I'm telling you, exactly. If it's not deep fried, it's not good. That's what I was.
Macaroni pie is a vegetable.
Right, exactly. And so when I came out to California, and of course, when I had to decide to change all my health eating habits, and Dr. Meg, correct, organic is been the way to go for a lot of things because there is so much going on in there. And I mean, I love I try my best to not deprive myself so much of a lot of things, eat things in moderation, I should say.
Moderation.
Just in moderation. I mean, I might want one piece of fried chicken or something like that in my goal, but and put it in my diet somewhere. But I try my best never to deprive myself of anything. I do tend to eat. I would like to say I eat healthy. I love salads. I love to smoothies, and I love like doing, and I love all things that are organic recently, and of course grass fed right now.
Yeah.
Eat in moderation, one piece of fried chicken, yes. Yeah,
Just
so
one. How
just
do you
one.
do that?
How do you do that? Yeah.
It's tough, it's tough, but like, if you got goals and if you got like a balance in your life, and especially like as much as I exercise and everything, I would like one of my dear friends who's also an exercise enthusiast. She says, man, I exercise so I can eat. That's what I want to do.
Oh, that's so funny.
So, but yeah, like, but on a serious tip though, like I do love, I mean, like eating healthy these days is like so necessary and everything, because like, we're looking at like high blood pressure, hypertension. We're looking at all these other different types of like, things that just comes up in our lives right there. And it does like affect not only our body, it also affects like, our mind. It affects like, we're sluggish. Just putting things in your body that are just like, going to keep you moving and keep you like, that digestible and everything. So like, yeah, you got like, so much, and it just basically helps you live your life a bit longer. So
yeah.
So we
And
have
not
Pam.
only long. Oh, sorry.
Oh, we have Pam just chimed in. I cook 4 nights a week. Otherwise, I feel like my pores are oozing salt and grease from takeout.
No lie.
Yeah.
amen. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Because your
cook pretty
body
much
will,
every day. Yeah.
and I went on a health kick, I think, fall of 2019. And I think, thank goodness, or else I would have starved for 3 years. But I'd much rather cook. I like to see what's in, and it's a little boring. I think I probably could get a little bit more inventive, but my goodness, mushroom burgers, they're delicious and they don't taste that healthy, but you know that they are. They're like the best food.
That's the best, right?
Right?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
air fryer and me, we're like best. Well, my air fryer, I don't want my
love
Instant
my air
Pot to be
fryer.
jealous, but
Right?
when you cook at home and you make the things that make you feel good, and then you could eat as much as you want because it's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
in moderation.
Ish.
in moderation.
Listen to your body.
Really? I get the sense that we should listen to our body. I have a fun in moderation story that isn't even mine. And this was years ago. My mom and I were in a store, and I forgot, we were talking to the people and about like those little bags of chocolate, the little bags of Snickers. And my mom said I could eat just one. And the woman looked at her like she was like, what? You could eat one little candy bar? And started bowing down to her. I think giving yourself the treats and enjoying all that there is of them, like the one piece of fried chicken, it will keep you from not regretting not being able to eat everything. I'm talking quadruple negatives. You're the experts. What do you think?
I'm not so good at moderation, and I have eaten too much healthy food before. So, and what I have discovered is that you have to get healthy first before your body will speak honestly to you, because you've abused it. So I abused mine for about 45 years. So it was not going to tell me anything, right? It was just going to tell me it was hungry all the time. And so it took eating cleanly and following an eating plan and measuring and doing all of that stuff. And then my body mostly tells me what it wants. Sometimes it tells me too late what's too much. But I, it's for those of us who have had eating disorders, like moderation is, I'm joking about it, but you put it one brownie, I'm eating them all. So don't put any brownies in front of me. This whole moderation thing, my husband's like, oh yeah, just be moderate. I'm like, 2 middle fingers to you.
Yeah.
I can't keep ice cream for that reason.
And
I can't drink soda. I mean, I drink furnace ginger ale because it's medicinal, but I cannot keep soda because years ago when I worked at a startup, they kept the fridge stocked. And it was really easy to drink too much soda. So for me, that's the I can't, well, I can, apparently, like I said, Vernors is medicinal. Any other soda, I drink one, I drink 20. So I drink none.
Yeah. No, same.
And I just killed the conversation.
And you can drink too much kombucha too, by the way.
From Pam before we jump into a healthy living goals, which is the 4 ingredient rule. Anything with more than 4 ingredients isn't a dish I make.
That's awesome. That's a really good, I like that. And anything processed that has more than 4 ingredients in it, you probably shouldn't eat it.
Depends on what the ingredients are too.
Yeah. Especially if you can't even pronounce the ingredient.
If you can't pronounce the ingredients, you probably shouldn't eat them.
Probably shouldn't eat it. Exactly.
Too much. Yeah.
Do you have any, Dr. Meg, any final thoughts on food before we go into goals?
There's so many things to say about food. Your health is your wealth. It is the most important thing you'll do. And food is the basis for all of that. And so the more you can learn about what healthy eating really is, because if food marketing companies are telling you what to eat, they're cooking for you, you're not getting real food. You're not getting a great diet. No. So take cooking classes, just learn as much as you can to try to support your body, because it knows how to heal itself if you give it the right things for you. Yeah.
And also I like to add, maybe like trying to see a nutritionist as well, because like that sort of kind of like helps as well too, because they can like determine, especially like, you can like tell them what you've been eating that like, like helps you to like come across or maybe help you into your like diet and goals and everything else like that. Cause I know I saw one that helped me out a tremendous amount of deal on things that I need to eat and what I wanted to eat. And what I shouldn't eat per se.
Yeah. And I'm guessing Dr. Meg does virtual calls with people.
I do help people with. Absolutely. Especially people who have illness or persistent symptoms, because your persistent symptom, like if you have headaches or skin rashes or coughs or whatever, they just keep going and you're just like, whatever, or sore knees, it doesn't matter what it is. It will spill over into chronic illness at some point. So nip it in the bud, take care of it.
And if you're listening, tuning in, watching, you value your health. So just take it a step further and do more to be healthy. So let's give some goals for healthy living. How's that sound?
All right.
Yay. Viv, do you have a healthy living goal that you would like to gift?
Sure. The one time I don't have much to say, I think it's really just a matter of creating a goal that's achievable, but is also a little bit of a push. For me, that was getting up earlier in the morning. And as much as I've not belittled, but as much as I was not a huge fan of the 75 hard, I think having and achieving that goal of the 2 workouts a day and sticking to an eating plan and drinking all the water and doing all of those good things, having that really did make a mental shift. I just feel like there's a better way of doing that. So set goals for yourself that are achievable, but also that stretch you.
And I feel like not everybody who's watching this needs to like start from scratch. They just want to be more, be better.
Yeah.
And maybe it's you're working out 2 days a week. You need to try to add a third in. Or maybe you're doing 2-minute dance workouts and you need to actually do workouts. I wonder who that could be.
Pull weights in or do yoga or, whatever it is that your body is telling you. Like, I know I should be doing more yoga. My body is telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
So I should just do it.
Years ago, they were trying to find a new form of exercise. And so every month, she was trying a different exercise until she hit on one she liked. So another way to explore. I love, don't ask me who it was, but
that's such a cool idea though, right?
The example is perfect. And I use that, when I teach, if you want to find a hobby, try a different hobby a month. Whatever it is, you want to explore something new, or like put them all in a hat and pick one out one at a time.
Right.
But these are your goals, not mine. God. What goal would you like to gift to our audience?
Yes, definitely. Like in terms of like listening to the body and everything. Definitely like just for exercise purposes, do something that's different, that's different for you, that keeps your mind sharp. We can always fall into a routine every single time on the same exercise and on the same, like, same thing over and over again. It's just like, beat is, what is that? I have no idea what it was called, where how you do the same thing, you expect to like the same results. Forgot what that's
insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Exactly.
Yeah. And so tricking yourself into doing something different every single time, like throwing walking in, maybe maybe like, throwing weights where your cardio is, wherever the one that you're doing the most intense on, like, scale back on it and just do a little bit more of what you actually need to do. And also for not only just your body, but I mean, like, also not only for just that, because like when you're like also taking care of your body, such as like, for me, I love to go to do a good massage after I've like, worked out intensely for like a good couple of weeks or something like that. Like, taking yourself to a spa, or like, doing all of these things that are like, good and natural for you. That's because like the whole encompassing is not only is for your body, it's your mind, body, and spirit. So yoga, good for your spirit. Mind is like, just sitting there reading a book. Body, just going out and walking around in the neighborhood. Those things, I give that to your audience right now.
I love that.
I do too. And I talk a lot about mind, body, spirit, and very little about body in and of itself, which is why I feel like I'm being a little bit stringent. No, we're just being physically healthy, but being mentally healthy and treating yourself does help with that physical health for sure.
Exactly. Mental health is real out there.
It is. So Dr. Meg, what is your goal?
Oh boy. I'm like, where do I start with this? Okay, so I think something that's important is that a lot of people think that they need to make grand sweeping changes overnight with every single thing, and then they get so overwhelmed and then they don't do it because they'll literally get into freeze mode. And so I think introducing something new and something different into your body to see, hey, is this helping me? Do I feel supported by this? And I honestly think I said this in one of the other talks that I did with you, but it's something I do talk about a lot. You can just introduce one thing, like a greens powder, like an organic, a really good greens powder. Could be something to get more greens into your body, because it's the minerals and the vitamins that are all going to be more supportive and helpful, and they might give you a little bit more energy so that you'll just feel a little bit better today. And then listen to your body. What's it saying? What's the feedback that you're getting from that thing? And know that you can make changes in your diet, in your holistic health, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, energetic. You can make them incrementally, so you don't have to overwhelm yourself.
And what is your favorite green powder?
Fresh greens. It's PHRESH greens.
Perfect. I am texting my husband right now.
Yeah.
He's looking for a green powder, so
I recommend them highly. They're great.
Opportunity. You never know what you're going to learn.
Exactly.
Live, aka the Deb Show. This has been such a wonderful conversation. Before we wrap, will you please tell people where they can find you, learn more about you? Meg?
You can go to meghaworth.com, just right up there. Oh my gosh, that's amazing how that happened. And then I have some free gifts up there, including recipe book, and a free ebook, and I do free consultations with people as well.
Excellent. And Viveka, where could people learn more about you?
Throw it up on the screen because I can't remember what I told you. Oh yeah, go to our website, vengreso.com. You will not read anything there about health, fitness, but you can find me there.
And when I put up the recaps, I will have these links, but also the links to everybody's LinkedIn. So if you're tuning in, reach out to one of us, reach out to all of us with a note saying that this is where we met. And Jerod, where can people learn more about you?
I have my own website at jerodwilliams.com. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. I got my class schedule up right now. So if you are in the Southern California area, come to drop in a class with me. I teach at 3 different studios. I also teach online. So like, I also have my 2 online links that go directly to my class. I teach in my living room for virtual and everything. So that you can find me there dancing up a storm.
Excellent. And you can go to thedebmethod.com/blog for the recap to this and all of my previous shows. And if you want to learn more about me, just go to thedebmethod.com and follow me. I am at the Deb Method everywhere and live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific if you want to jump in to the conversation, or you can also subscribe to The Deb Show on your favorite podcast platform. What a wonderful, fun, inspiring panel. I love this conversation. And I'm paraphrasing Pam, who said fun and informative panel. You don't expect health to be this fun. Well, you do if you're hanging out with me and my people. Thank you guys so much. Before we wrap, I would love for you to leave everybody with a final thought. And Meg, it has to be not listen to your body. We need a new one. I'll let you think for a second. Jerod, what is your final thought?
My final thought for everyone is to practice kindness. Be just be kind to your fellow neighbor, because you never know what's a person going through right now. So just be kind, spread love, give love, be your authentic self, because authenticity is the way to go.
I love that. And I'm gonna edit it. Practice kindness to yourself as well as practice kindness to others. Because I think people forget that as well. But isn't that what this panel is all about, is being good to yourself, fueling yourself so you can live a healthy, happier life.
Yes. Amen.
Viv, what final thought would you like to share?
I was going to say, be kind to yourself first, but because that's what I started with. But really, I think it's important to realize it's not just about longevity, but quality. And, it's all well and good to live to be 101, but if you don't have your mind, you don't have your body, you don't have any energy, you don't have a life, then you don't have a life. So, take care of, no matter where you are, whether you're 20 or, older. It's, and it's never too late to start taking care of yourself.
That's true. Absolutely.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hi.
I'm going to say something along those lines. It's my mom was like my biggest inspiration. She was a scientist. She passed away just 4 months ago. But there's a way that I've always ended my talks, especially when I talk about food and health, but that's mainly what I talk about. So, and it's something my mom would always say right before we hung up the phone. And it's take good care of my baby. Aww. So I want you to take good care of your mama's baby, because there's only one you.
Amen.
Amen to that. That's so true.
Now I'm going to call
That's all I
have. She's always with
calling my mother right now after this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Call her while you can.
Tell her hello for us.
The Southern woman that loves to sit and talk. So it's all good.
Oh, great. I love it.
And thank you for sharing that. That was really, this whole thing has been wonderful, but what a lovely sentiment to end this wonderful conversation. Thank you again, Meg Haworth, Viveka von Rosen, Jerod Williams, for joining me for this wonderful and important conversation about taking care of your mama's baby. Be well if you're tuning in, if you're listening. Thank you for choosing yourself and your health goals. We believe in you. So whatever your health journey, go for it, because we know you can do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.